at the beginning of the week, we find out about the Jimmy Jones cheating on Brianne thing, right? Which that was pretty sad. His response to the allegation was very immature, to say the least, okay? But that opened the door for us finding out about what happened to Unethically Savage, or April. April is her name.
When I got there, I went out to my truck, was getting something out of my truck. I came back, and there were mirrors inside, as most RVs have, that pointed toward the kitchen table. As I turn the corner, I look at the mirror, and I see the two of them kissing at the table. Okay? So then whatever, I walk in, they pull away like it's nothing, and I'm like, that's odd for an assistant to be kissing her boss. In my line of work, we have two responsibilities. Whether you like it or not, these are our responsibilities. The safety of the client and the privacy of the client. So when I went back outside, April followed me outside. And I said, April, I just saw y'all kiss. What's going on? Oh, nothing. I said, April, let me explain something to you. If y'all are having an affair as a protection agent, I need to know about it. That way, if Alyssa comes up and y'all are doing something, I can remove my client from that position to keep there from being an altercation, right? Not justifying their affair. But that's my job as a protection agent, okay? Whether y'all like it or not, it just is what it is. So at that time, she admitted to me that they had been having an affair ever since she had accepted the job and moved down from Washington, right? So then I informed her how important it was that he discussed with me the level of their relationship so that when Alyssa was around, when she was going to pick up Alyssa, I could try to keep them apart.
Now, can I just ask one question? Just at this point, were you under contract?
Yes.
Okay. In that contract, is there like an NDA?
I never signed an NDA, and none of my contracted protection agents signed an NDA. No.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
In the beginning, and I'll get to that because I know why you're asking that question. Okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, then I get with Georgia. Georgia has one of my radios that I communicate with my staff with. I gave him one because I can't be within a vehicle within constructive possession, meaning within reach of a firearm, right? Because I'm a felon. So Georgia grabbed his pistol and another item, which I will leave out because that's neither here nor there because it is what it is. And I turned to him and said, you cannot bring that in the vehicle with me. He says, okay, I'll drive my truck. You follow me. We took pictures and videos of all the equipment that he had there for the construction job because he was afraid people were going to come cut his lines and stab the tires and really some crazy ideas, right? Which, once again, I have proof of. Okay. So as we're going down the road, I'm on my radio. April is on my cell phone, on speakerphone. I am talking to Tim about the affair over the radio while April is telling me what to say in order to get him to talk to me about it. Tim finally says, when we get to the hotel, we can talk about it face to face. We get to the hotel, me and Tim have a meeting. He admits the affair to me. So that night we had a show in Georgia. I think there was 2 shows that weekend. I might be wrong. There were 2 shows that weekend. One of the shows was at a venue inside of a mall. Okay. At the end, when we got to the venue, I went to the manager of the venue, as I always do, to clear the inside and make sure it's safe for the guys to come in. Well, before the audience got there, I asked the venue owner, where is your in-house security? He responds to me with, in our contract, we're not supposed to supply the security that y'all are supposed to. I went to Daphne. I said, Daphne, we are not security guards. I have 2 other protection agents with me. We cannot protect a sold-out 300-person show and maintain the protection of the artists. She said, you'll be just fine. I'm going to put April at the door. Okay? Now,
So the venue didn't have door guys?
Sorry about
Nope. How were they taking tickets at the door?
April was.
But the venue didn't provide any staff or how did they do? That doesn't make sense.
Oh, it didn't make sense. When I got there, it didn't make sense to me either. Which put a whole pressure on 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I happen to have a very diverse team of protection agents. The 2 that I had with me happen to be trans men.
I saw the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for 2 reasons. One, they can legally search women and they can legally search men. Okay. So at the end of the show, there was some heckling going on. There was some upsetness because the show was short. The show was short because Georgia Landscaper was so high on stage. Kingery has said this. Udi has said this. Lawson has said this. That he handed his mic off and could not continue the show. What we decided was to take all the guys from the stage to the back of the venue, which was a small venue where the merch table was.
Right.
So that people could buy merch, take pictures, and get autographs.
Mhm.
During this, what happened was people started pushing that table back further and further and further, pinning Tana Lyric's wife, Tana Lyric's baby's mother, who was also there working, and another lady up against the wall. At that time, my team and I decided to remove the men from the venue by the outside, the back door exit, right?
Mhm.
We removed everybody except Kingery and Georgia. We came back in. Kingery, you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. Okay, hold on. Next to me was the videographer for CV, right?
Mhm.
Recording the whole time. I tapped Georgia on the shoulder and said, hey, let's go. It's unsafe. We got to go. Georgia's response is, fuck you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm taking pictures with my fans.
Mhm.
Second time, Georgia, this isn't a negotiation. Let's go. Turns around again. Fuck you. I'm not going. So I proceeded to step in between the table and him and tell him he was going to move his ass now, turned him and directed him towards the back. That's where I lost my professionalism. Okay?
Mhm.
But my worry were the three ladies behind the table being smushed up against the wall. At the same time, the bar owner opened the front door to allow a pool shooting competition to come in. So now we've got people coming through the front door unsearched with pool sticks and pool bags, right?
Mhm.
So now we have a safety concern. So finally, Georgia turns and walks with us. Get outside. We exchanged some words. Daphne went to Kingery. Said, Kingery, what happened? Kingery told the exact same story I had told her. Daphne went to Tana Lyric's wife. She told the exact same story I had told her. She went to the baby mama of I can't remember her name, but Tana Lyric's baby's mama. Asked her. She told the exact same story. So at that point, there was an issue with Georgia and me because he did not obey the command that was given. Now, mind you, before every show, we had a meeting. And this meeting consisted of me telling them, if any of my guys nor myself tell you to move, you move. You don't ask questions, we'll explain it later. There's a reason we're asking you to move. Okay?
Mhm.
That was agreed upon. So for him to have that confrontation with me, had I not responded the way I did, then I would have lost my credibility with the rest of the guys.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So there's that. So then the next day, we wake up in the morning. Georgia got very drunk that night, ended up passing out in a Waffle House, getting into a domestic violence situation with his girlfriend at the hotel, Alyssa, left Alyssa in that hotel, and went and stayed the night with April in the hotel next door. Okay?
Mhm.
That's the night that they decided that it was going south. The next morning, I walked up to Georgia with my hand out. A, to apologize, and B, to let him understand this is tour life, Bubba. Sometimes we're going to have disagreements. Okay? I can list off the artists that I've worked with, and you would understand why we work a certain way. Okay?
Mhm.
I'm used to a much different crowd of people.
Oh, yeah.
And because I have been in the business for over 10 years, doing it a very specific way, we did not change the way that we did our job because it was content violation. We treated them the same way as I would have treated Upchurch, Jelly Roll, Struggle Jennings, 6ix9ine, Kevin Gates. I can continue, right?
Mhm.
The same way. Now, at that show, before all this happened, is when April confided in me that in Gatlinburg, Jimmy Jones had tried to pull her pants down and pull her back on him. And I said, were you flirting? Was it like a drunk thing? Normal questions like, was there something going on? She said, no. I jumped up and told him, stop. At the time, the story was he then grabbed her again, pulled her pants down again, and pulled him back on her. She jumped up again, ran inside, told Alyssa. Alyssa, this is according to her now. Remember, we weren't hired at this point. We were not hired at Gatlinburg. Okay? So she told me that she told Alyssa. Alyssa tells her, don't tell Tim, because he'll go throw JJ over the fucking balcony.
Mhm.
So there's the first step to covering up the accused sexual assault, right? So once I found out about this, that night, I take that back. Let me restate that. I was told the weekend before that, okay? The weekend before the Georgia
show.
the weekend before. So they knew about it for the Georgia show. Let me recorrect that. It was the weekend before.
Mhm.
So after everything happened in Georgia, we went back to the hotel. I then went to Daphne after already reporting to Daphne, and me and Daphne go into Udi, right? Udi confronting JJ, JJ swearing it didn't happen. Actually, what he said was, I don't recall that happening.
Mhm.
Interesting wordage. He said something about eating some gummies and he wasn't in his right mind. Whatever. So then the thing happened in Georgia. Georgia refused to allow my team to be his protection staff anymore and said that if he couldn't bring his own personal protection, he wasn't going to be a part of the show.
Mhm.
Daphne came to me and said, how do you feel about another protection team coming on for him? And I responded with absolutely not. I will not work with another agency that I'm not comfortable with and I don't know.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Simply won't do it. There's a lot of variables that can occur when you mix two companies under two different types of training and two different types of leadership. Right?
Mhm.
That it gives one person the ideology that they're more important than the other 8 or 9. Right?
Mhm.
So then Georgia went this escapade about how it was my fault he got thrown off the tour, blah, 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 blah. I made a very unprofessional decision because I was hurt by what was being said that I exposed the affair online. He reported the original assault that even the accuser didn't want out. Because she felt like, in my opinion, if it was told, then Georgia would lose his opportunity to be an entertainer. Right?
Mhm.
Georgia knew about the assault and chose his own limelight over the protection of who is now his wife. Okay?
Mhm.
So then we had another show, which was in Indiana, I believe. It was at Lenny Cooper's venue, where there was a young man that was brought there by Tainted Lyric, who supposedly was dying of brain cancer, and it was the way it was presented to us was it was his make-a-wish to come see Tainted and the guys.
Okay.
Daphne came to me and said he is no longer allowed on the bus, taking his prescription medication with a bunch of alcohol that was on the bus. Okay? And asked me to go and inform him that he was not to be backstage anymore and he was not to be on the bus, which I did. Last night on my live, I played the audio of her having a phone call with me where she said, you can tell the world that you were not in the wrong and that I told you to remove him and that he was lying about his disease and XYZ PDQ. Okay? Now let's get back to where we're at now. So everybody called me a liar about their affair because I was mad that we got into a verbal altercation. Georgia put together his entire following, which at the time was over 1 million, and then had them come after me. We had a meeting in Indiana, I believe. I might be wrong. I'll have to check my schedule. But it was the day that the video of all the guys sitting on the couch, right, did the video. That meeting was to figure out how to deal with the accusation in JJ and how to remove JJ from the show to keep the accusation from going online because April had stated she was going to go public about it because they kicked Georgia off the show. Right? So then they did the video. I was standing next to them in the video, but you can't see me in the video. It was reported to me by April in a conversation over the last 3 days. Like, she's been the one in contact with April. That Kingery and Udi both said that I forcefully made those guys make that video. I forcefully made them make the video, and they were scared for their safety. So they made the video saying he had made unethical decisions. An unarmed, 5'10", 275-pound man put so much fear into 7 alpha men that I made them put out a video and lie about another man. Okay?
They've been officer trained.
Hold on. Then they took that video down. And TR put up a 3-minute video about how security, which we were not, there's a big difference, had given false information, meaning the assault, that we had lied about the assault allegation. A 3-minute video. And how he was so sorry for what had happened to Georgia based upon my lie. Right? And then all these guys got together and did lives together, which adds millions of followers all hearing their story. All of them came after me and my company at once. Anyway. I'm simply saying that Kingery is an incredible individual. And once you get to know him, you'll know that. And we don't talk a whole lot anymore with social media because he's doing amazing things and I'm doing my own things and nothing but the best for him, right? But yeah, he's an incredible individual and he's an incredible police officer. Threats. Go off yourself. Putting my address out there, putting my phone number out there, putting my social security number out there. Okay? So now, fast forward. I'm on a video chat with my board of directors from my company, and I told them, guys, this is my phone's dying. I apologize. I said, guys, this is what's about to happen. JJ's going to make a statement in the next 3 weeks. He's going to tell y'all that the farm's out of hand. He's not spending enough time there, and he has to leave the show in order to take care of the farm. I told them the date it was going to happen, and I told him when it was going to happen. And it happened exactly like I said. Okay? Then Kingery goes on and does a video while drinking a cup of coffee saying that security or protection lied to us about the assault. It did not happen, and it was my way of getting back at Georgia. All right? Udi co-signed it. Between them alone, that's almost 11 million followers. Okay? Now, fast forward. April, Georgia continued this, go after Gorilla Nation for 2 months, 3 months, right? Calling me a liar, of this, of that, everything you can think of. To the point that he had an ex-girlfriend of mine of 15 years ago, mind you, represent herself as my ex-wife and say that I was a domestic violence beater and I had charges for it. So what did I do? I posted my criminal record because it never happened. I have one ex-wife. She's an amazing woman, and she doesn't deal with any of this. She has an autistic child and 2 other children, and she's a single mother. She don't get in this shit. And she's one of my best friends. She's one of my current wife's best friends. Okay? So now we're back to here getting closer. April comes out and says, Jimmy Jones did all this stuff to me. Now, mind you, in the meantime, they were still denying being together. They were still denying sleeping together. They were denying an affair. And then all of a sudden, they got married in Vegas. But I was lying. But you went and got married. And once you got married, then you decided, after you ran out of all the money you raised, that my organization helped them raise for the Georgia Across America tour, right? You decided to come out with the accusation against Jimmy Jones. 6 months later. Now, here's something I'm going to give you that we haven't talked to about anybody else, and I may get in trouble with my legal team for this. But the person who witnessed it is on this video right now. We watched April walk up and grab the penis of JJ at a show. Watched it with her own 2 eyes. Brookie, I'll let you speak on that because you were the one who saw it. Go for it.
You gonna put me in a spot like that?